Don't you pick on someone your own size, Prime?
Tink, tink. Tink, tink.
Stunticons calling for backup.
Hello, LEGO Transformers fans. This is Soundvox with another exciting episode of LEGO Transformers. Today we have Motormaster. Well, first I wanted to let you know that I thank each and every one of you, all of my subscribers. I really do appreciate you. And if you're not a subscriber yet, you should consider becoming one. That way you never miss a minute of videos when I put them out. In addition, leave a comment if you like what you see, or if you don't like what you see, what I can improve. And share it with any of your friends that like Legos, or like Transformers, or like Lego Transformers. So, without further ado, here is Motormaster, the leader of the Stunticons. Our final Stunticon. He is a tractor-trailer. Now the difference between Motormaster and Optimus Prime is that Motormaster's entire trailer composes his body in the Generation 1. This is both for the cartoon and for the actual toy. So the cab actually just becomes his feet, unlike Optimus Prime where the cab becomes his whole body. So that's one significant distinction, and I wanted to keep that distinction in my character. I know with Legacy, they made the cab transform separately from the trailer, but I don't like that as far as Motormaster goes. I like his whole body being the whole thing. Okay, so let's do a quick size comparison with Motormaster and a Lego minifigure. You can see my Lego Transformers are on a more mini scale, so they are smaller. So they are definitely not in scale with minifigures. But you can see the minifigure towers over the little cab. And I do the minifigure just to show you how big my Transformers are in comparison to other type of Lego things. Now let's compare Motormaster to Optimus Prime. You'll notice that Optimus Prime looks a little different. I changed the way his arms were for the action scenes in the beginning of this video. So that's just why he has these things sticking out on the sides. My normal build doesn't have those. And you can see Optimus Prime, his whole body is the cab, and his cab is slightly larger than Motormaster's cab. I like that. They're about the same size, but Optimus is slightly larger. I think it goes very well together like that. And it just makes sense with their transformations. Now let's get Optimus out of the way, because this is not his show. This is Motormaster's show. So to capture some of the great details of Motormaster, I put two grills on the front here. And the funny thing about Motormaster is because his cab becomes his feet, I had to build two halves of the cab when I built them. And make sure they could come together. But they look like one cab piece there, doesn't it? So it looks very well. Here we have the two grill pieces. We have lights for his headlights. And then we have these nice purple see-through translucent two-stud bricks for windshields. On the side, I actually used an orange translucent brick to kind of give it a little bit of a difference. And on the very inside, I know it's hard to see from here. You probably can't see it from here. Let's see if we can bring him closer. Yeah, there is a seat inside that's actually tan, but you're not going to be able to see it from the camera. His wheels are the standard one stud wheels like most of my Lego Transformers that are vehicles. And he has smokestacks. His smokestacks are a little short because of his transformation. And they're also square blocks, which I kind of like that. When I get to his trailer here, I tried the best I could do to keep it one solid color. Now this is the second time I built Motormaster. The first time it was one solid piece that unfolded. But that wasn't the best of transformations, and it made his arms really small. So I completely scrapped that version and made this one. This one, his trailer is more in segmented pieces. But they all fit together here to make one solid trailer. There is a little break up in the color, which I don't like that much, but it's not too bad. It doesn't take away from it too much. Here we have one purple stud for his Decepticon symbol on his trailer. And we have his two little wheels. Then we turn him around, and we see his tailgate, the back gates of his trailer. Turn him around again. We can see that there's a hole here. That's for combination mode. And his Decepticon symbol there. And so that's Motormaster in vehicle mode. Now that we've seen Motormaster in vehicular mode, let's get to the fun part, transformation. So to transform Motormaster, the first thing I do is I pull down the sides. The sides are on a ball joint, so that makes them easy to pull down and rotate. So we pull down those two sides and we reveal what looks like it might be his legs. Now the next part, you can see that these pins are sticking out. They were well hidden in trailer mode where you only saw the faces of them. So in this case, we hold the pin with one finger and pull the leg out with the other. And then snap into place. There we go. So now, his cab is split into two. And that was part of the fun of building him. We can also rotate on the pin, so I'm going to rotate it up just so you can see the inside of the cab. There's the tan piece I use for like the chair part of it. And I have a space in there where a guy would sit if there was a tiny guy in there. Okay, so let's fold that back down. Now you can see there's ratchets here. These ratchet pieces, which we love, we can rotate them up, and they make a little click each time they rotate. And notice how the smokestack, I'm going to move this out of the way, notice how the smokestack lines up with the bottom of the thigh, making a solid leg. We're going to do that with the other side now. Rotate him up. And now he has 2 feet, so we can stand him up. And he's standing on his feet. These big blocky things look kind of weird. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate them around on the ball joint. Rotate them backwards. And then there's another ball joint in there, so we can rotate it in. These kind of become back parts of the legs to kind of hold him up so he doesn't tip over backwards. And they will be used more in combiner mode. But for robot mode, they just get tucked nicely out of the way. And then we turn them around and we forget all about them because we have his feet right here. It's the cab. Now you can see he is getting kind of tall. So I guess I should back up my camera a little bit. Readjust slightly here. And maybe push him back in the frame just a little bit. There we go. Now we can see his whole body. Kind of looks like a weird ATST walker in a way. Feet and a big box. Well, let's reveal the rest of them. So here I got this nice old-fashioned hinge piece in there. And that all that does is just rotate the top up a little bit. So we rotate that up a little bit. Now the top is kind of loose and flappy. I have it on some very loose pins here. But what we do instead is right above this area here, there's another ratcheting joint. So we ratchet our way up. And we ratchet it right over the top. Now as we're rotating it over, this piece here, this flat top piece, rotates around. And I thought this was a neat way of doing the transformation. Because then we can fold it in. And place it there, and we just fold this down. Now there's a lot of backpack junk here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the feet parts again on the back. And just rotate all this backpack inward. And it kind of just sits against his back. The studs kind of connect to the back, but they really don't. Then we rotate those two blocks in the back to hold in his back. Now, it is nice and tightly compact. So we can rotate him forward so we get his face, so we can see the front of him. Now we have Motormaster's head, and his face, and his feet. And then we got these strange blocks on the front of him. So these are his arms. We'll rotate them outward. And this is a nice connection point. I have these 3-hole Technic pieces, and they have this little hinge on the side here that's for a plus connector. And that allows them to hold in place when I rotate them to the side so they don't go too far. And then I have pins in his shoulders as well as in his chest. So the chest pins open them up. The shoulder pins fold them forwards. And there we have his arms are facing forward. Now we rotate the arms down. The arms are connected on old style hinge joint, which is just a flat hinge piece with two flat 2-stud pieces on them. And his hand here will rotate out on stud friction. It's basically just a gaping space, a square piece, and the square piece has a hand on it. And the hand is sideways, but the way it's built, it becomes able to hold stuff. Now we'll do the same with this one. And because the way these are sandwiched together, sometimes they loosen up when I do that. So I just squeeze them back together. And here we have Motormaster in robot mode. And you can see now he looks more like his robot self. He uses his whole body. Now this is the second build of him. The first build I did was very gray, much like the actual toy. And I really didn't like the way it looked. I wanted him to look more Generation 1, a little more like the animation. So I decided to give him these nice color breakups in his trailer and segment the trailer. So he's got bigger, thicker arms, which have gray pieces near the outside to give him that gray look, but they're white on the inside to give him the white look that he has. He's got a light purple on his chest, some gray pieces, and then some black smooth pieces, and some flat pieces, some curved pieces. And then on his thighs he has black flat pieces, and these nice purple little stripes, which the new toy from Legacy, those are formed from a faux cab for his feet, and it's only his cab that transforms into the robot. But I like the way I did it here. It encompasses the entire tractor trailer as a robot, and it looks like Motormaster. Even the back part of his truck gives him that little squarish thing over his head. But his head itself is just 2 studs wide, and I used a couple flat pieces and one of those ratcheting hinges to give him a nose. and then 2 little red pieces for eyes. And you can turn his head. It's on a singular stud, so he has stud friction to turn his head. As far as articulation in his arms go, he can spread them outward. He can forward butterfly. The hinges allow him to raise his arm or lower it. And his little hands rotate so you can have sword-wielding wrists. The legs, they can actually pose a little bit. Because they're on this pin, I can rotate them forward or back. I have to move the thing on the back of them a little bit. And then his feet can ratchet down. And so you can make it look like he's taking a step. You might even be able to make it look like he's kicking somebody. Put it up and out, and then kind of rotate this piece back a little bit. There you go. You can kind of make him look like he's kicking. He's a little fiddly because he's got a lot of pieces that move around. And a lot of that's for his combination in his combined mode. But I love the way he turned out. And I do have a few still shots of the older version I'll be putting at the end of this video for you to see. Now let's get to size comparison. So for size comparison, let's bring in our minifigure. And this minifigure, who's taller than the cab, now is dwarfed by the robot. Just imagine if Motormaster was in scale. He would be huge. Now let's compare him to our other truck transformer, Optimus Prime. And the nice thing here, Optimus Prime expands out when he transforms. So he is almost as tall as Motormaster, which is great because they were very close in the cartoon in size. Though this is a little bit better because this Motormaster is slightly bigger and he is much beefier. And I like that look to him. I like that bigger, beefier, tougher look. Motormaster was a bit of a tough guy. All the Stunticons kind of were. Now let's get Prime out of here again. Bring our central focus back to Motormaster. So if you like these LEGO Transformer videos, please definitely leave a like or leave a comment. If I can improve something, leave a comment too. Or any comments of anyone you would like to see. And maybe in the future I can build them. Though I still have many Transformers built that I haven't showed off yet. And of course, if you're loving what you see and you want to see more, I'm sure everybody wants to see Menacer coming up soon. So if so, you best subscribe and share with your friends. Anyone that likes Legos and likes Transformers, or likes LEGO Transformers, looking for as many subscribers as we can get. Until next time, thanks.